Here is a memo that was sent out by Himmler in 1935. I found this on the Bundesarchiv. And there's lots of great info in here. I'll read the English translations or some of them in a moment. Underneath are the German originals. And note what Himmler stated here. This stated what Hitler said. Himmler wrote, quote, he, Hitler, emphasized that he completely rejected the idea of founding a new religion, that it was a figment of the imagination. So, for all those that believe that Adolf Hitler or the NSDAP wanted to do away with Christianity or create a new religion, here is the answer. It can't get any clearer. So, the Germans were Christian. All of them were Christian, leadership, Hitler, etc., even the SS. And yeah, so, and that's what they supported because they were Christian. And note, this could be considered a real example of a table talk, since this is an official document proven to exist from the NSDAP era, unlike the fake table talk garbage, which is not real. So it's just a fraudulent document. So, but anyway, yeah. So I'm going to go through it real quick. The left is the German original, and the right is the Google translation. Um, so this is where Himmler started writing. He just said, on the matter of religious questions and the SS. I don't know if that was a proper translation on top there, but it said I had a long, detailed discussion with the Führer during my presentation on November 1st, 1935, which demonstrated to me the complete agreement of line I pursued in the SS with the will of the Führer. Um, I presented to the Führer all the orders attached to the appendix concerning religious affairs. These met with his approval. Um, it said the Führer declared his full agreement that the race and settlement main office would be headed by SS Adar. Um, it says, I also presented the Führer my idea that the SS would one day have to become the German samurais with the planned method of progressive recruitment. Um, So, and that's true, right? Remember, this was written in 1935 or 36. And obviously during World War II, I think the SS proved that they were, the German equivalent of the samurais. Um, so I'm going to read this. He wrote, on October 23rd, 1935, I was received by the Fuhrer and Reich Chancellor at 1 p.m. After a word of empathy from the other side, the Reich Chancellor gave a lengthy speech in which he explained his thoughts on the current situation in detail. He expressed, right, Hitler, um, or the Reich Chancellor, is this? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, duh, that's Hitler. He expressed his regret at the Protestant Church's rejection of his plans, as well as the Catholic Church's reluctance. He emphasized that he could not deviate from his views and measures regarding racial protection legislation and his conviction that sooner or later the church would revise its views. Of course, such a revision could not be demanded or expected from the church at present. But one should nevertheless strive to reach a modus vivendi. He touched on the issue of the foreign exchange trials and expressed his fear that not only the plight of individual cooperatives, but also the anti state spirit of the Center Party had been the driving force behind the crimes. He addressed the threat of Bolshevism, against which all forces should be united. He emphasized that he completely rejected the idea of founding a new religion, that it was a figment of the imagination. The Catholic Church, despite its well known wisdom, had made a mistake in opposing Rosenberg because this was what had led to his book's widespread distribution. This offensive stance against Rosenberg given the composition of his party, made it difficult for him to take action against the book and its ideas, but he intended to do so. Now, my note, remember, I did other videos where I talked about that Hitler rejected Rosenberg's book, The Myth of the 20th Century, and he did not even feel it should have been printed at the time it was. So, anyway, continuing, it was far from his intention to undermine any existing authority. Destroying an authority was easy, but reestablishing it was impossible. That was why he had maintained the old army despite opposing currents. State and church could only thrive through cooperation. The overthrow of state authority would only benefit Bolshevism. He demanded confidence in his goodwill and hoped that other bishops would place this trust in him. He also wanted to speak with Cardinal Faulhaber sometime. Finally, he asked me to work towards an understanding. I replied that peace between the church and state also seemed to me a great good and that I would contribute to peace as far as it lay in my power. The audience lasted over 3/4 of an hour. I only had the opportunity to remark to the Reich Chancellor once that Rosenberg's book, when the church took a stand against it, had already caused great devastation, especially among young people. As I left the Reich Chancellor's palace around 2 a.m., the SS guard presented his rifle. I guess maybe a rifle salute. Not sure. There it says, the Führer expressed his full approval and appreciation for the ideas outlined here. I also presented the question to the Führer about the 100 guiding principles of the SS. The SS is a National Socialist, soldierly order of Nordic men and a sworn community of their clans. The Führer also fully agreed with the formulation. So, and I think that's all I had. Yep.